Good evening, I'm Pieguyrulz, and welcome back to Nick or Treat. Tonight we have an Real Monsters episode, The Switching Hour. Ickis accidentally gets switched with a little boy on Halloween night. So, fittingly enough, this Halloween special is indeed the first episode of the series, and it's a pretty good one at that. It doesn't go super in-depth about the character traits of each character or anything like that, but it does set up the whole general premise of there are monsters, they live underneath the dumb, and humans are afraid of them, and their job is to scare humans, although they never actually eat them, and as far as monsters go, they're downright nice people, if not a little gross. Most of this episode's humor comes from the interaction between the monsters and the humans. There's a bunch of gags going on about the humans thinking the monsters are just people in Halloween costumes, and the monsters subsequently grossing them out. And unlike Doug, this show has a lot of imagination. Some of the monster designs are really creative, and even the human designs aren't very standard. The plot of switching two characters accidentally isn't one that's particularly original, but I really like their take on it here. And I like the use of Halloween to have it make sense, because the kid was dressed up in an Ickis costume, because the kid was actually scared by Ickis a few days before. This entire series would be one that's great to watch for Halloween, but this episode in particular really works. I really don't have too much else to say about the episode other than to just suggest you watch it. Not only is it a great episode and a great show, but it's often one people forget about. I guess it got overshadowed by Klasky Csupo's other show, Rugrats. And it is one of the older Nicktoons. Speaking of Rugrats, though, the kind of dirty-looking, dark-colored animation really works for this show, where it doesn't so much for the earlier Rugrats episodes. The show kind of differs from a lot of other Nicktoons as well. It's not a slice-of-life show like Doug or Hey Arnold or even Rugrats, and it's not a show about talking animals like a lot of other shows on Nickelodeon. It's refreshingly different, and might I add, this thing came out way before Monsters, Inc. I don't really know what another chance I'll have to talk about this show, so I do have one more note on this series that I may as well mention here. First of all, in a Wild Thornberrys video I made, I complained about the fact that they got Tim Curry for that, but they couldn't get Tim Curry for this. Apparently, I was wrong. They did get Tim Curry for this show. And yet, amazingly, he doesn't play the Gromble. Instead, he plays Zimbo, the bee-like creature that sits on top of the Snorch's head. And the guy who voices the Gromble does a great job, but I'm just saying, it seems to be a part that was written for Tim Curry. And that's about all I've got. This is the first Halloween special of the Nicktoons that I actually do recommend you go seek out. It's on iTunes and pretty easy to find, so find it and enjoy. Pieguyrulz, out.